Since I was a boy, I've been observing some strange things that has happened in Trinidad. But before I tell all you about that, I want to let all you know this. I is not a member or supporter of no political party. And I don't get involved in no kind of race talk. But in this beautiful country called Trinidad, that all we love, we getting tied up in commerce and confusion because of two disgusting words. The C word and the N word that some people been using to divide we and rule we. So, if I mention these two words, is only because I'm trying to explain what I've been observing. Now, everybody in Trinidad know what a Japness is. You know how them Japness does raise if you come too close? Well, every 5 years, when you hear election coming close, the issue of race does raise, just like a Japness. Now in Trinidad, it have different kind of Japness, It have Japness like the United National this, the People's National that, and some who does call themselves party, congress, movement, and it have Japness with a certain percent or per dollar, but that is a story by itself. Now in them Japness, it have some people who want to control. They want power. So they just declare how they is candidate, nominee, representative of the people, the honorable this, that and the other. And there is announced that they going up. Now so much people catching the nenen because the cost of food going up, the price of gas going up, the murder rate going up, unemployment going up. And now it have people who going up too. They just say they're going up for something named seat. It have seat in place like Lopino, Bon Air West and Sentans and thing. Seat. Now don't go and say that I say that them who going up for a seat in Sentans want to get a chair in the madhouse, Next thing you hear them boy and them might want to charge me with sedition. But the thing is this. It have seat in St. Anne's East, but it have no seat in St. Anne's West. So if you living in St. Anne's West, is you to catch. You are sure if you have to vote in Digo Martin Northeast or Lavantil West. In other words, you have to went to school and pass exam in geography to know where to go and vote. Now here, how them candidate this choke fire to get you to vote for them. The brown Jep candidate does say how them black Jep is the problem. You see? And the black Jep candidate does say how them brown Jep is the problem. So they does only tell you who they blaming for the problem. They don't ever tell you what the problem is. Like if it's poor drainage, corruption in public affairs, incompetent people kicks in parliament, and them kind of thing. Because if they say what the problem is, people go start asking them, so boss man, tell we now, how all you going and solve that? And they don't have the slightest idea how to fix all them problems the country facing. So they just organize rally where they just promise you a brighter future with a lot of T, like integrity, stability, accountability, electricity, and things like that. They just give out t-shirt like them steel band that go in Panorama. Some have red t-shirt, some have yellow t-shirt, and flag to wave and thing. Is big, fete with live soca, chutney, parang, and tassa, and motorcade with DJ on big truck. If you see Trini whining and waving the flag. Now, don't get confused, eh? It's not Carnival I'm talking about. This is elections to choose who going and run the country for the next 5 years. Long time they used to have rum and roti, but like Sparrow say, we passed that stage. So now they're serving KFC and pilau and white wine and thing in disposable plate and styrofoam cup. You know, to show people how the country making progress. But in the middle of all the bacchanal, people that start showing signs of what you call CNS. CNS is not a TV station like TTT or CCN, and is not a political party like PNM or UNC and them. CNS is an abbreviation, the short form for 3 words. The C is short for the word coolie. That is one nasty and disgusting word. The N is short for the word nigger. That is also a nasty and disgusting word. That was the C word and the N word. Then we have the S. The S is short for the word syndrome. You know, a set of symptoms, a collection of disease or disorder. So CNS is short for what you call the coolie nigger syndrome. Now, deep down in my heart, I believe that it have a cure for this disease, this syndrome. If you rounds up all of them who going up for seat, get some maxi taxi to carry them up Mount Hope and tell them Cuban doctors to scan them to see who have brains. If any of them have brains, and you never know, they might find one or two. Operate on the brain. Remove the S, the syndrome, the disease, and replace it with a chip that have C for cooperation. Then we could have CNC, Coolie Nigger Cooperation, after the next general elections. The rest of them who didn't show signs of intelligent life, you know, the duncy head, the brain dead, them who buy the degree in a parlor in Sandy Grande or Coquille village or some way. And you have to sympathize with them, In a way, they like dead people. You know how dead people don't know that they're dead? Well, it's the same thing with stupid people. They know that they're stupid. So, them who have no brain, they could offer them a t-shirt and a walk to push pan with renegades and invaders for Panorama. Now, in case anybody think that I'm talking sedition, CNC is not a new political party in Tobago that want to break away from Trinidad, a chutney soca radio station, or a new halal roti shop in St. James, okay? CNC is a state of mind. Now, I think the first thing is to try and cipher out what the C and N word really mean. If you observe how we just talk to one another, I'm sure all you must be hear somebody say, "How come all your coolies so?" Or, "How come all your niggas so?" And if you listen to how we just talk about one another, I'm sure all you must be hear somebody say, "Boy, them nigga and them." Or, "Boy, them coolie and them." And what I ain't sure about is what they mean by them two words. You see, to different people, they have totally different meaning. So I've been Googling them to try and find out. And let me tell you, it ain't simple at all. People who educate in UWI and them who qualify in foreign with degree in linguistics, phonetics, and semantics and thing. Not them who buy the degree in a parlor in Sandy Grande or Coquille village. They go tell you that the C word and the N word is what it is called an ethnic slur or a ethnophilism. All you know how much time I bite my tongue practicing to say that word? The Trinidadian translation of a ethnophilism is something that you could use to bad talk people who don't look like you. So, let me get this straight from the start. Nobody in their right mind does use the C word and the N word. If we examine the C word, one explanation is that it is a Hindustani word that originated from a Gujarati Aboriginal tribe that named Kulli. They broadened it to include an unskilled laborer in places like Southeast Asia and China, and porters in railway station in India and places like that. So a Kulli is a kind of profession. Somebody who just carry load. In the 18th century, Kulli was the name they used to call the dock workers who used to load and offload them Dutch merchant ships in the port at Nagasaki in Japan. So them was Japanese Kulli. As I say, it ain't simple at all. Now, if you check out the C word in Trinidad, you will find that it usually associated with people whose ancestors come from India. You know, people who just look like me. So, a Kulli in Trinidad is not a profession. And that is why you could have a Kulli doublesman, a Kulli bandit, a Kulli prime minister, and things like that. But we need to go a little deeper and check out the historical context of the word. You see, it had a slave owner called Sir John Gladstone who bring the first shipment, a cargo of 200 Kulli, to Trinidad in 1806. And hear this. The first set of Kulli to arrive in Trinidad wasn't even from India at all. Them 200 Kulli that Gladstone bring was Chinese. All you see how tie up this thing is. 39 years before the fatal Razak docked in Port of Spain Harbor in 1845, with a cargo of 227 Bung Kulli from India, it already had 200 Chinese Kulli in Trinidad. As I say, it ain't simple at all. So, who knows? Maybe it's time for the government to give the Chinese people in Trinidad a holiday to celebrate Kulli Arrival Day with plenty fried rice and chow mein, Chinese laundry, crazy, Rex East and Rex West live on stage in the new Chinatown, and a Chinese steel band jamming on Charlotte Street. Now, let me park the C word for a while and examine the N word. The N word is not a word in any African language. It is a twisted form of the Latin adjective niger, meaning the color black. The Spanish word negro comes from the Latin word Niger. And when them Spanish first meet people from West Africa, they refer to them as negro because their skin was black. And the English changed up the pronunciation from negro to negro. So it wasn't a profession like the word kuldi. It was a word that people whose skin wasn't black used to describe some people whose skin was black. But like I say, it is so simple. You see, it have over 3,000 different ethnic groups in Africa, talking over 2,100 language and dialect. And millions of them do have black skin. On top of that, it have millions of people all over the world who have black skin in places like Australia, Sri Lanka and South India and things. Millions. So what you go call all them people in Africa whose skin air black? And what you go call all them people whose skin black but who air from Africa? Eh? You see the kind of comments and confusion that the word negro and negro cause? Now, the N-word, nigger, the twisted form of the Latin adjective niger, is not something only associated with skin color at all. It is a racist term used to insult, to ridicule, and to demonize people. It must be the nastiest and most disgusting word in the English language. You hear me? It gets so bad in America during the O.J. Simpson trial that they drop what it is called the N-word and start using African American. Now, you wouldn't hear the white people calling themselves European American, but that is our next story. In other countries, they've been using the N-word for people whose skin are even black. So it have different species of N people. As I say, it ain't simple at all. Let me give you an example. A sun nigger is what some people used to call people who come from place with plenty sun, like the Middle East and North Africa. People like Arab and thing. A prairie nigger or a red nigger is what the European settlers used to call people from tribe like the Comanche, the Cheyenne and the Apache, who was living in the prairies and the Great Plains hunting buffalo hunting. I think they just call them Native American nowadays. A white nigger. Yeah, it have white niggers. British forces operating in what they used to call the Murder Mile in Belfast, in Northern Ireland, They used to call the Irish Catholics white niggers. It's true. And an Indian nigger, it have Indian niggers too. And a lot of people know that. The British used to call Indians in India niggers. In the 19th century, the British Mem Sahib and them, who was the wives of the British officials outstationed in India, they used to write letter to their family and friend in England and write article in Woman magazine and thing about life in the colony. Now, the so-called native Indians that they used to employ to do domestic work, cooking and cleaning and minding the children and things like that, they had dark skin. They used to practice strange religion and they used to talk strange language. And them Mem Sahib and them used to refer to the domestic workers as niggers. It they in writing. So let we pack the N-word for a while and look at what has happened when we use words that ain't have no meaning. You see, when people start using words and they ain't sure what the word mean, they just end up saying things nobody can understand and they themselves can understand. They come like them boy and them who just go up for seat. You know, they ain't know what they're talking about and you and me ain't know what they're talking about either. And that is one of the reasons why we end up in this commerce and confusion where everybody in a monkey pants and nobody ain't know what anybody mean because somebody mix up ethnic origin, profession, skin color and nationality by words that have no meaning. So we end up like a watery callaloo. It looking tired. It can't stick together. It falling apart and running all over the plate. All you know that kind of callaloo? Where the okra want Emancipation Day. The dashing bush want Idul Fitr. The coconut milk want Spiritual Baptist Day. The onion want Diwali. The pepper want Arrival Day. And the crab want Independence Day, Republic Day, Labor Day and Corpus Christi and lie up. As I say, it ain't simple in this callaloo society called Trinidad. I'm sure all you hear somebody use this expression. All are we in the same boat. And now think about this for a minute. Vasco da Gama, the Portuguese captain, meet Hindu traders in Mozambique when he reached there in 1499. The first Indians in South Africa were slaves that the Dutch East Indies Company carried there in 1654. The Sindhi people in India and Pakistan, who does talk Sindhi and Gujarati and Urdu and thing. Them is Africans who come to India possibly as early as 628 AD. As a matter of fact, if you Google the kingdom of Bijapur, you go see that it had a king named Ikhlas Khan, whose ancestors was African. So you see, my brethren and my sistren, people from the African continent and the Indian subcontinent been in the same boat long before certain people put them on some other kind of boat and bring them to Trinidad. And we, Trinidadians, if we smart, and I'm sure everybody go agree with me that it have a real smart man and smart woman in Trinidad, ain't? Well, if we smart, we could use that common history to build a common future. But them name we just call one another to benefit none of we. As a matter of fact, them boy and them who have seat and title like minister and thing, does use it to divide we and rule we as they want. If we, as a people, want to move forward, we have to stop the mauvais langue, the bad talk, and stop calling people by these disgusting and poisonous names. If we can come to a common understanding, and if we don't respect we neighbor as a human being and a fellow Trinidadian, then, as them old people used to say, crapo go smoke we pipe. So, if somebody call you by the C word or the N word, don't take them on. Because if you ask them what they mean, they really know. And you have to feel sorry for people like that, eh? Again, they like them boy and them who just go up and win seat. When they get the seat, most of them know what they're doing. So they just always end up doing the wrong thing. All they have is the ignorance. And ignorance is a terrible thing, eh? Because when you don't know, and when you know that you don't know, you just get frustrated and start doing stupidness. And people just be laughing at you, and you even know why. Frustration. Frustration is like having a plate packed up high with bus up shot and curry goat in your hand. But you have no teeth in your mouth to chew it. So you start to dribble. The whole front of your shirt wet down with dribble. And people pointing the finger at you and laughing. And saying, how he does dribble better than Lionel Messi. Frustration. Frustration is like the woman who pay 3 months' salary for a bikini, a string of bead, and 2 plume. She put it on and gone in tongue carnival day, and she can't find she ban. She dong tongue, and she ban somewhere up by the savannah. So she stand up there like a Pomi one by Cipriani statue in she bikini and she two plume, looking like she lost she way. And people passing and watching she like she kill priest. Frustration. Frustration is like the fella who buy a brand new 4-wheel drive. He pay $250,000 for it. He mortgage his house and land, his wife, his children. He even mortgage his dog to get the money. He drive out the showroom and bam! He hit traffic jam on the highway. Gridlock. He can't move. He can't go forward. He can't go backward. No way. And all you know how we in this soca society like to move. So he trying to move. Moving to the left. No way. Moving to the right. No way. Up north. Wrong way. Down south. Wrong again. He can't move no way. In he brand new 4-wheel drive that he pay $250,000 for. So he start to drive on the shoulder. He don't care if he bunks down people children going to school in Spring Village or people buying watermelon and kingfish on the highway outside Valpark. Frustration. Well, is the same thing that does happen when you have the power of speech, but you ain't have words to express yourself. So you start talking dotish talk, stupidness, mauvais langue, bad talking people who ain't do you nothing, insulting people you ain't even know, with words that you ain't even know the meaning of. Frustration. And that is why, my Trinidadian sistren and my brethren, next time you hear somebody call you a coolie, a nigger, a dogla, a coco payol, a chinky eye, a 1%, a 2%, or a this, that, and the other, take a walk. Don't argue with people who don't know the meaning of the words they're using. They go always bring you down to their level in the gutter and beat you with experience. Now, don't hate nobody. Hatred does only cause problems. It don't solve them. Feel sorry for them instead. And forgive them. Because they know better. Like the old African proverb say, he who forgives ends the argument. And if you're a believer, pray for them too. And while you're at it, you could even say a little thing for them boy and them who going up for seat. That even if they have no brains, at least they go have a heart. Before I finish, I want to thank all you for listening, and I hope all you reach home safe. So, as the old people used to say, when they reach the end of the story, crick crack, the wire bend, and that's the way the story ends. Blessings.